Agriculture Department says an outbreak of avian flu has been confirmed at 5 farms in the Western Cape, and the affected commercial chicken farms are now under quarantine. So this means no live animals, birds or eggs are allowed to be removed from those farms. Earlier this month, the provincial veterinary services issued a warning to poultry farmers after the highly pathogenic avian influenza was detected in 2 farms in the Paardeberg area. Over 120,000 birds were then culled. Let's bring in the Director of Animal Health at the Department of Agriculture, Land Reform and Rural Development. Dr. Mpho Maja joins us via our video link this morning. Dr. Maja, it's great to talk to you. Thanks very much indeed for coming on. And of course, we are not strangers to outbreaks of avian flu, right? It was the first case, you'll correct me if I'm wrong here, the first case detected in 2021. By the following year, we had culled the number I have in front of me, 3.7 million birds, and here we are again in 2023.
Good morning and good morning to the viewers. Yes, you are correct. We are not strangers to avian influenza. In fact, the first cases of avian influenza in chickens was reported in 2016-2017. 2021 was the second outbreak, so now we are dealing with another outbreak.
Sure.
And if I may add,
it's
not just South Africa that's battling with avian influenza, it's actually a global problem as we speak.
And what is the cause, Dr. Maja, is my clumsy way of asking, how does this happen? And, you know, since it's happened, as you say, in 2016, there have been repeated outbreaks, a massive one not last year, in 2021 into 2022. How do these repeated outbreaks happen? Is it related, as in once you have an outbreak, you're more susceptible to these outbreaks?
Avian influenza is a viral disease. It's transmitted, pardon me, by wild birds. And that is why we keep seeing repeated cases. All of these outbreaks are not related. We had managed to eradicate the 2016-17 outbreak, and again we eradicated the 2021. This is a new infection, a new introduction. And as I said, it's transmitted by wild birds, and we mainly see it on migratory routes. With birds that are migrating from Europe through Africa and end up in the Western Cape. The best thing that we have done as a country is to improve our biosecurity. If you look at the numbers that were affected, numbers of farms that were affected in 2016, as compared to the number of farms that were affected in 21, and again now, it has drastically reduced, and purely because of the biosecurity measures that industry and ourselves have implemented.
Yeah. So when we talk about these biosecurity measures, and just for the sake of our viewers, it's not only commercial farmers that have been urged to implement these biosecurity measures, but also people who keep birds as a hobby, for an example. What does that entail?
It basically means trying to prevent attracting and contact between wild birds and your domestic poultry by removing feed, by removing water, putting them under cover so that the wild birds don't get attracted and come feed and water, and in the meantime transmit the infection. So that's basically what we are saying to especially the free range and the backyard chicken keepers. But for the commercial farmers, improving biosecurity actually goes way beyond that. Making sure your houses are bird-proof, your workers either shower or wear clean clothing and boots especially between houses before they enter houses.
Yeah, to prevent cross-contamination, I would imagine. A massive impact, obviously, commercially for these farmers. I understand the egg industry, probably the worst affected by these outbreaks.
Yes, so far it has been hitting our long-lived birds, their layers, either table egg layers or broiler breeders. For this season, we haven't seen broiler breeders being affected. It has just been with the table egg layers.
Difficult for the industry, Dr. Maja, to have this outbreak now in a context where the industry is struggling already as a result of load shedding. Let me ask you this. In terms of the kind of support that the Department of Agriculture does offer here, insofar as managing outbreaks of this nature is concerned, but also to try to help mitigate the kinds of incredible financial losses to the industry, what are the steps taken?
Different provinces have different support mechanisms to farmers. So the advice that we generally give from the national office is to approach the provincial departments to find out what support they can offer. But from the national office, the one major thing that we do in terms of mitigating is to provide advice to the farmers, particularly in how to prevent introduction, because that's the basic and the major control measure is prevention, so that you don't get hit hard.
Yeah, certainly. For those viewers who are watching this morning, their concern will lie with whether these are products that are still safe for me to buy and to consume. What is the message from the department?
The avian influenza that we are currently dealing with does not affect people. We haven't had cases of people being affected by this current virus. The farms that are affected are placed under quarantine immediately. No birds, no live birds, no eggs are allowed to move off the premises. So product that is on the shelf is safe for human consumption. Meat that's on the shelf, that has gone through normal abattoir slaughter process with ante-mortal and post-mortal meat inspection, that's safe for the consumers to eat. Eggs, very safe for the consumers to eat. The one thing that you would notice when your animals are sick, that we always give awareness to farmers, is that production drops, not just with chickens, your dairy farms, the drop in milk production. Pardon me. So with chickens that are affected with avian influenza, egg production will drop. So already there's very few eggs that would be produced. Over and above them, we place the farms under quarantine. So the eggs are safe to consume. I'm actually going to have breakfast now.
You and me both at the stroke of 9 o'clock. Dr. Mpho, Maja, let me thank you for your time this morning. Dr. Maja is the Director of Animal Health in the Department of Agriculture.